Okay, y'all, I'm going to show you how to draw out and paint this owl cutout. Now, this is for a private group that just bought these from our studio, but you can, if you've got a cutout, you can totally follow along at home because we'll be posting this on YouTube and on our blog and other places too. So, to begin with, we want to just draw it out. Now, I'm going to use a Sharpie just to show you. So you've got, I would use pencil though at home. I'm just using Sharpie so that it shows really good on video. So you've got the curves right here. All you're going to do is continue to make that a circle. You can kind of find the middle of the owl and know that that's about where it comes to. And when you're doing it with a pencil, no fear, okay? You can erase if you need to. All right, and we are going to make them touch. So there we go. They're not super perfect, but it's okay. Once we get all the paint on there and stuff, it'll be just fine. So we've got our circles that I'm going to go back in and do another circle inside here just for a rim. And then another circle for the eyeball. And that's going to be sitting on the rim, not right in the middle because it'll look shocked and scared. Then I'm going to go down to the bottom wing that's already cut out. I'm going to use that line and extend it up. And it's going to land on the bottom of this eyeball. It's not going to come back to here. It's going to be right there. So I'm going to start here. Extend up. Do the same thing on this side. Kind of use the cutout that's already there. Extend up. Now for the nose, it's going to be kind of like a V, but a soft V, like with a little bit of a curve, like kind of like that. You could do a hard V. I just kind of like it a little bit softer. And then down here, you've got the lines here. You're just gonna connect that so that you've got feet. So that is it for the drawing. Not too hard. Go ahead, if you need to pause this and get the drawing done, go ahead and do that. And then we are gonna start painting. So to begin with, I like to just do a base coat. So I'm going to take my color, and I'm using these bright colors. You can use whatever colors you want to. The steps will still be the same. You're still going to go base coat and then details. So for my base coat, I'm going to get my yellow. I'm going to start with the belly, and I am going to kind of, I always like to outline things just so I've got a smooth edges and not like, if I didn't outline it and I just started going like this, I would more than likely get all over into the wing, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to give it a good outline. I'm using a bigger or medium brush for this. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just you don't want to use. I do have a smaller brush that I'll use for details. I do not want to use that right now. So I've got a medium, big, small. I'm going to end up using this just a medium and a small the majority of the time. But just as a handy go-to, usually when I'm painting, I make sure that I've got a big, medium, and small, and that should cover everything that I need. And in this case, just the medium and the small will. All right, so I'm just got my base color on here. I am going to do the same base color up here for the head. That is not something that you have to do. Well, am I? No, I'm not. I'm not. Change my mind midway here. All right, so I've got the base coat. Now I'm going to do the two wings. Again, this is just going to be that base color, so I'm going to use my pink. Now, if you wanted it to be a lighter pink, you could kind of dip half in the pink and half in the white, and kind of get some cool kind of two-toned look. So I'm going to outline right there, and then I'm just going up and down. There's a little bit of yellow that's still in my brush that's kind of making it look a little bit orange, but I don't mind it. So you see how after I outlined it, the brush strokes are going up and down, okay? Not side to side, up and down. Same thing over here. We're going to outline it. Kind of outline right up under there, and then we're going up and down, not side to side. Now this, I will do my head the same color. And you do not have to. I'm just going to. Now, don't worry if it's looking kind of plain right now. It will all, when we add all of those fun details, it'll all come together. All right, so we've got that on. Next, I'm going to the head. Like I said, I'm using the same color. If you want to swap colors, just be sure to clean your brush and dry it. I'm going to kind of outline always. Fill it in. And then after this is kind of making an orange because I didn't clean my brush very good. But I'm going to intentionally make an orange next. Now, if you've got orange, you can just squirt it out. If not, we will make it with a little bit of yellow and pink. So I'm going to take, the pink is a little bit more strong. So we get just a tiny amount of pink. into the yellow. You can always add more. You just don't want to start with too much. All right, and then that's going to be the color that I want. I think sometimes you don't know until you paint it. Yep, that's good. Okay, so I'm just outlining and filling it in with the orange. Then I'll come down to the feet and just outline that one little line and paint. Okay, we've almost got the whole base coat on there. Now I'm going to rinse my brush. Well, I just realized I don't have water. So I'm going to wipe my brush off and just do the ring around the eyes. I'm going to leave this part white. This is going to be black later. So let me just kind of wipe this off. When you're doing this, you see how I'm just going in a circle and staying in a circle. And just kind of keep going. That's going to help it to be smooth. Okay, so I've got my base on there, and then next I'm going to do my details. So I'm going to use a small brush. I need to grab some water real quick. Okay, so I like to do the white details first, and I use a small brush with a rounded tip. If you've got like one of those angled brushes, that works too. I like to add a little bit of water to my white. Now that does not mean just touch my water and then just touch my white. I like to touch my water, and I'm going to kind of pull this over. You can see I'm kind of making like a separate little puddle that has the white that's just a little bit more fluid. I don't want it like water-y necessarily, but just a little more fluid so that whenever I start to add the details, my brush just flows. If you've ever used paint and you would like do a detail and then all of a sudden it looks like dry brush and you've got to get more, well, that's because it's not very fluid. So we're going to add this, and when I pull it out, I'm just going to kind of twist. And now I'm going to just start adding some detail. So I've got some highlights all around here. Now I like to do like start here and you. Okay, now if you are wanting to write something right here, you can still do this, but keep it with a white and a light color. Later on we're going to come back into this with a black, but you would not want to have black U's all over and then black writing too. That would be a little bit hard to see. Okay, so I'm going to do some little lines here. Okay, now I want to do some polka dots on the wings too. Now you could do swirls if you wanted to, or just lots of color. I'm going to do some green. Sometimes you need to mix the green with the white. The white has a little bit more covering power sometimes. And when I do polka dots, I go right, left, right, left. I don't want to go in a straight line. Also, don't be afraid to just have like a half dot. That's totally fine too. Sometimes people think they've got to squeeze everything in. It looks just fine to have those half polka dots. And I'll come back and highlight these too. And again, you don't have to do dots. Y'all can be as creative as you'd like on these. I'm still using my small brush. So I've got those half dots, right, left, kind of got them staggered. And filling them in. Okay, then if you wanted to add any of this green anywhere else, you could. So like I might take a little bit I touch my water just a bit. Maybe I'll do a little bit up here just for fun. Just have a little bit of the, now if you don't love doing those little skinny lines, don't do it. So just learn from, you know, your strengths and weaknesses. If you're like, yeah, negative on that, then just don't do this. Okay, and then I'm going to do a little bit more white on those polka dots, those highlights, and then after that I'm going to be adding in my black. So I'll come on the outside. When I'm doing this, I am not pressing down hard, okay? I'm just letting the tip of my brush touch, and let me see if I can show you the difference. Let me turn this over. I don't know if you'll be able to see. but like same brush, you could do just the tip, like a skinny line, or if you do too much pressure, it's going to be a big fat line. Do you see the difference? These are the same brush, just different pressure. So sometimes you may want to practice on a separate sheet, just getting that light pressure and just letting the tip touch. Okay, so now I'm going to head to my black. I'm going to also add some water to it, kind of make me another little puddle over here. Still using my small round brush. Dun, dun, dun. I know black is scary, but you can do it. Now, if you have a round sponge brush, sometimes these look good with the round brushes. However, do not with a sponge brush. With a round sponge brush, press down because it's all going to ooze out. So if you do use a sponge brush, you dip it in, you wipe it on the edge, and you just kind of dot, twist it, and pull up. You don't push down. But I don't have one here on hand, so I'm not going to be using that. Now, from here on out, I'm going to be adding my black. Very light touch. Very light touch. Okay. One thing that I usually, now I break my own rules all the time, so you're going to hear me say stuff and then you're going to see me do the opposite, but the rules that I have are my usual rules, the general rules, and my general rule is that I don't go back over a black line. Like once it's done, it's done. So like that's not a completed black line. I'm not going to go back over it and try to keep on doing it. You know why? Because that's going to grow. It's going to be fat. It's going to be an eyesore. Everything's going to go right there. I'm leaving it. I don't care about it being a full line anyway. Not at all. So my general rule of thumb is that once you put it down, you're done with it with the black lines anyway. So I keep going back to my water and my black because that amount of water that you use that first time, that's not necessarily going to last with making it fluid the whole time. So when you come back to touch your paint, also touch that water. Get you a little bit on there. Okay, maybe I'll do a little bit on these feet. And I'm thinking I could totally be done right now, but I am going to, I think, add a little bit of blue onto the tummy too. So you see you can, what I'm giving you here is a guideline. Then from here on out, you can have as much fun with this as you want to. So I'm going to clean my brush, going to get back in here to the blue and just add some more on that belly. With the blue. Ooh, got a big glob there. Probably should have done this first, the blue, before the black. Usually my black is last, but that was just a little afterthought that I wanted to add that blue. And that's kind of what it is. That's what creativity is. So many times you are making decisions in the moment. Now, this is one of the reasons it's so good for your brain and for kids and for everything, because it is a lot of just a lot of decision-making skills that you're having to constantly look at and evaluate and think, and do I want more of this, less of that, what color, more contrast? And so there's a lot of thinking that goes on. So don't feel like you have to have it all planned out before you get started. Just kind of start going with it, and then have fun. And the awesome thing about these cutouts is you can do the other side too. So if you wanted like a fun, springy, colorful one like this, and you also wanted one that had more fall colors, you can do it. You know the steps. The steps are the same. You just change up the colors. So anyway, I hope y'all have fun with it. See ya.